and fellow riders. So nice to see you this Wednesday for our weekly horse talk. And this Wednesday is special because we are giving away prizes. You might have seen the videos of me brushing horses lately, and they are shedding. And this is the number one brush I use. It's from Iceland and I have had it for 18 years. So it's a little bit bumpy, but this is by far the best shedding brush I have ever had. And I have tried many. And this evening, if you are joining us live, and comment in the comments below, you can win one of these. But you're not going to win this one. You are going to win a brand new one that I am going to send to you from a shop I know in Iceland. Isn't that amazing? And since we are now in kind of multiple places, this stream goes to YouTube and it goes to Ride Like a Viking Facebook page, and it also goes to the Ride Like a Viking members only Facebook group. So we are going to draw a commentator each and every place. But here live tonight, we are going to draw a comment in the Facebook page. And Olav has promised to come and do it to make it fair. Yeah. So Olav the Fair is coming to draw a lucky winner of the Icelandic Kluru with Gummi Handfangi so that you can brush your horse in the shedding season with ease. How about that? So let me know in the comments below if you want to win one of these shipped right home to you. Then you might actually win it. Especially if you are watching on YouTube, because I don't think many YouTubers are watching Ride Like Viking on YouTube, so you might be the only one. I have a high likelihood of winning this amazing prize. Yes, but I'm not only here to talk about brushes, I am also going to talk about horses being what is called barn sour, which sounds a bit sour. So I like to call it like when a horse has a very strong stable magnet. And by stable magnet, I mean that the stable has some kind of magnetic power over the horse. So you might have experienced this while riding, that the horse is, reluctant to leave the barn. And once we turn around and ride homewards, horse is a little bit in a hurry to get home. And this is quite normal actually, because every time we're finished riding, we go to the barn, we take the saddle off, we brush the horse, we might even give the horse some food and reunite the horse with the friends. So all the nice stuff is happening at the barn, and all the work might then be happening away from the barn, so the horse becomes a little homesick. But if we are riding a horse with a stable magnet or a barn sour horse, although we manage to get the horse, away from the stable, and we manage to hold them back while heading homewards, this horse is still thinking about the stable while in the trail, right? And when their mind is somewhere else than their body, it's going to affect how they feel and how they move and also how they behave. And this is the tricky part, because barn sour doesn't necessarily mean that the horse is stubborn and doesn't want to leave. It can also be, being tense and spooky on the trail, right? And not relaxing until you get back home. And barn sour can actually also be a horse being anxious in shows and only relaxing when coming home back to the barn. So this is a quite common problem, but as horse trainers and riders, we don't always connect the dots back to the actual problem, which is the stable magnet. And this is something we experienced with our horse, our children's horse, Glanny. He was extremely stubborn. He was extremely good at ignoring riding signals, and he was also stuck in piggy pace. But instead of working on training him and trying to make him move better, we mainly worked on getting rid of the stable magnet so that he would want to go on the trails and wasn't only thinking about staying home. And once we were able to make our idea of leaving the stable his idea, he completely changed. So that he started to become much more responsive to signals, he started to move a whole lot better, and he also became straight from self. And he stopped piggy pacing and he started trotting and cantering, and he even offered some tolt. And I think that if we had, you know, tried to solve the problem directly by, you know, pressuring him to go from the stable and trying to make him trot and doing all these kinds of things, it would have been much harder. And it would also have been very difficult for the kids to maintain his functional way of moving. So although we can kind of make a horse do something, it's much better if the horse does it from self, right? Because then the horse doesn't need a clever rider to move well. You can kind of put kids on their back and they are still going to move beautifully because the horse wants to go on the trail, the horse wants to listen to the kids, and the horse isn't, you know, only thinking about getting back home. And that mental shift in the horse will affect how they behave and how they move. And this is a little bit the same with the spooky horses, because they might be a bit reluctant to leave as well, but they might show it in a different way by spooking and becoming tense and maybe bolt homewards, right? And then people start working on all kinds of different things except the stable magnet, which is the cause of many of these problems. Yes, so that's why we have a free training out now, which shows what we did with Glanny to make our idea of leaving the stable his idea and to get rid of his barn sourness. Yes. And those of you who have joined the training have gotten an email from me where I said, if you have any questions or if you're stuck, please let me know and I'm going to talk about it. So I have gotten quite a few replies actually, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you so much. And I have found that there are 3 very common pitfalls when doing this. And I will try to give you now some guidance on how to go about it. So I think one of the first things that isn't really shown in the video series, but very clearly, but is something we did with Glanny, is that before we started on working on the stable magnet, we actually worked on getting forward because he didn't really have any forward. So first we got him forward, and we did that by on the ground, by doing groundwork. So if your horse has like no forward, you need to fix forward before you fix the stable magnet. And this becomes, you know, quite counterintuitive and a little bit opposite actually, but we then actually use the stable magnet to get forward, right? So since he didn't want to run anywhere, only, you know, go slowly in piggy pace, we could, you know, lead him away from the stable and we could get him running homewards. Or if we were training him in the arena, we could ask for forwards, you know, towards the gate where he wanted to go, or towards the other horses where he wanted to go. Because he was the kind of horse that if you used a lot of pressure on him, he would just shut down and shut it out and, you know, completely ignore it. Which is not actually being stubborn, but it's just another way of being anxious, and the reaction goes kind of inwards. Yeah, enough about that. So first you need forward if your horse doesn't have any forward before you can fix the stable magnet. And if your horse is very anxious and doesn't have any relaxation, guess what? You need to get relaxation before you fix the stable magnet. And often these anxious horses, their worry tends to become worse when they are in unfamiliar places and, you know, away from their friends and away from the stable. So it will be much easier to then get relaxation in a place where the horse is familiar and comfortable. And what I like to do is to, you know, overcorrect stuff. So if your anxious horse becomes so relaxed that the horse is, yawning, breathing deeply, and is kind of completely almost, it could be a benefit if the horse lie down and roll, like you get huge relaxation, right? Then you have gotten a point you can go back to. But if you haven't gotten that relaxation, you don't really have a point of relaxation to go back to. So the connection exercise is a great way to fix this with anxious horses, and the dull ones as well, actually. And with Glanny, like, we got him forward to a point that we had problems stopping him. Yeah. So when you're working on forward, he was so forward that he didn't want to stand still when mounted, which never was a problem with him because he always wanted to stand still, right? So that's how we can get results quite fast by what I call overcorrecting. So a horse standing still isn't necessarily relaxation. You need to see signs of relaxation. And a horse isn't necessarily forward just because the horse goes forward when asked. The horse needs to maintain the forward a little bit from self. Right, so that's kind of the basics. You do that before fixing the magnets, and you can actually use the magnets to your benefit when fixing it. Yeah, so if that's your problem, then you need to fix that before solving the barn sourness. And the second thing I got quite a few questions about was actually, yeah, but I pick up on the rein and I want to go to the right, and my horse doesn't want to go to the right, so then the horse just pulls the reins out and we go to the left. And that's going to ruin your riding signals. Yes. So this exercise is very much about giving choices, but it's not about giving choices on the riding signals. Yes, and this is very hard for riders to understand, me included, because after been riding in a regular way, always controlling the horse for many, many years, we do stuff with our hands and our legs and our seat that we don't even know. So the whole point here is to, drop the reins, let go, ride forwards, and see where you end up. It's not hold the reins, mount the horse, try to ride to the left. If the horse doesn't want to, then give up your ask and go to the right. That's going to ruin your riding signals. Yes, so don't do that. If you have picked up on a rein, make sure something happens as a response to that rein aid before releasing the rein, because the horse learns from the release of pressure, not the pressure itself. But again, I think if you have a problem with the riding signals, like the horse doesn't really understand the rein aid or has, had a habit of going against it, fix it, in the arena, and work only on the riding signals so that they are good before attempting, solving the stable magnet with riding signals that doesn't work. Okay, so I hope that helps. So if you are among those who got into trouble with the rein aids or the leg aid stopping working there, go back and fix your riding signals. Yes. And there is a third pitfall, which nobody actually asked about, but I want to talk about anyway. And that is because this exercise is about giving choices, and through the choices, we are then able to make our ID the horse's ID. Don't give choices on the riding signals, but the choice is like the horse decides where to go and you decide what to do there. And preferably you want to do something else than relaxing by the stable and working away from the stable. You want to change the horse's perspective of the stable being a nice place where we dine with friends and the trail being work. So you want to kind of change the horse's view of the world. But if we, every time the horse gives a suggestion to doing something, make it more work when it's not our idea, we can't, overdo it. I don't think there's a huge risk that you are overdoing it, but if our only training method is, making the wrong thing more work and the right thing easy, we can risk getting a horse who doesn't suggest much, you know, because every time they have a suggestion, that just becomes more work than what we want to do, right? So I solve this by actually sometimes giving choices about something where I actually want the horse to choose. It could be like I can put the football in the arena and I can brush the horse. And the horse walks away and sniffs the football. And I'm like, okay, let's play some football. So the horse has then suggested something that I actually say yes to. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this makes sense and that it helps. And if you are here and you're like, what is she talking about? Barn sour, stable magnets, etc., then you can get access to the free training on ridelikeviking.no/motivate, and you will get access to the videos and you will see how we helped our barn sour and stubborn and stiff children's horse to want to leave the stable, and also how we used groundwork to get relaxation with a mare who was very anxious and uptight by her choosing relaxation, not by kind of trying to make her relaxed, right? So that's going to make a whole lot more sense once you have watched the videos. But now I think it's time to draw the prizes, because many of you are here not to fix barn sour, but to win this baby or these babies, the Icelandic Kluru with gummi handfangi. And Olav is here. Yes, he's coming to draw winners. Right? How are you doing, Olav?
I'm doing good, yes.
Yes, and you got to experience firsthand the difference in Glanny from when he was, pacey and lazy to when he became forward and femme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like flying.
Yeah, he was.
It was. You weren't stuck by the stable anymore.
No, I wasn't.
No, you were not. And it was easy for you to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was building so amazing back muscle. Glanny, from like when he was in this barn sour stubborn mode, he was quite hollow backed. But once we changed it, he started building back muscle.
Yeah.
And did you do any specific exercises?
No, not really.
No, just sitting on the horse, enjoying the ride. Yes, and I think horses actually enjoy being ridden that way. But that might be just me. Okay, there are several comments here, Olav. So if I scroll up and down.
Should I say stop?
And you say stop. Let's see, I'm scrolling and you are not watching. Okay.
Stop.
Let's see. Adel, now Misty MCB. She says, hello, Katrine from Misty. Yes, you won the Icelandic Kluru with gummi handfangi. Congratulations. I am going to send you a message so that I get your address and so that I can ship it to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I am going to head on over to YouTube and the Facebook group and see if there are any comments there. And we are going to draw winners there as well. So it will be a total of 3 Cloders that go out to this lucky community.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Do you enjoy drawing prizes, Olav?
Yes.
Spread some joy?
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I wanted to do a video on a seat exercise for the members. And I wanted Olav to ride, but he didn't want to. Because the riding involves being lunched. And he thought, like, lunching is for the small kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. Even the Spanish riders at the Spanish riding school, they get lunch lessons to work on their seat. So I ended up doing the lunch lesson, and my husband ended up doing the lunching. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way of riding?
Just normal trail riding.
Normal trail riding, yes. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, and I think the horses love it too. It's like going to the movies for the horse,
Yeah.
exploring together. Yes. Oh, do you remember when Glanny found the mushroom?
No.
No, maybe you weren't there. That was kind of funny, and that relates a little bit to, you know, not always making the horse's choice more work than our choice. So Glanny actually was able to find mushrooms and kind of, yeah, he ate them himself. But we didn't prevent him from doing that. So sometimes he would kind of sniff up a mushroom and off up it went, and it was kind of funny. But he wasn't allowed to graze when we rode him.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
And that's our next free training is going to be how to fix the grazing, because once the stable magnet is fixed and the horse isn't barn sour anymore, then you might still have a grazing problem, and that training is going to teach you how to become more interesting than grass,
Yeah.
which you totally nailed.
Yes.
Yes, you did. Okay, and then you are going to nail it too. But first, head on over to ridelikeviking.no/motivate and get the ultimate barn sour fix, which will make your anxious horse calm or your lazy horse forward. Okay, thank you so much for watching this evening and see you next Wednesday.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.